Looking at our world from a theological Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, December the 18th, 2023. It is currently 6:46 p.m. Central Time, and I am coming to you live from the Theology Central studio located right here in Abilene, Texas. And I ran up the stairs to turn on the microphone to give you, an update and to ask a little bit for your help here. So here is the situation. Many of you know that this year we were informed that, the price of broadcasting was going up everywhere, right? Broadcasting on Sermon Audio was going to go from, $50 to $60 a month. Broadcasting on Spreaker, that was going to increase. The price on everything. Our pod page, the price of that, everything was increasing in prices. So we were greatly worried about it, and so I had to make some decisions. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? All right. Asked for some help. Many of you did respond, and we're very grateful for that. And you sent money, and we hey, thank you so very much for doing that, because it helps covers the cost. We're trying to get this podcast to a place where it's supported by the listeners to at least a certain degree. So so we are grateful for that. But there's been a lot of uncertainty about 2024, a little bit of concern about 2024. So one of the things I saw that we could do is our podcast hosting site is Spreaker. Spreaker, not speaker, but Spreaker. All right. And so we noticed that there was a way to possibly downgrade our package, our plan. And we thought, okay, do we do this? Do we downgrade it? If we downgrade it, what is that going to mean? How is that going to impact anything? Well, they have this weird way. Like typically you would just go in and make a change, right? And then on the next billing cycle, it would just switch over to the new plan. No. Spreaker's like, you can't do that. You have to cancel. And you're like, wait, what? Right? Cancel. Well, the minute you cancel, it's going to revert to what they call their free package, which, basically is there's no storage, so you're going to lose all of your broadcast. So I've been waiting and panicking and like, oh boy, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Been looking and waiting and looking. Well, just a little while ago, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. No, it's been very recent. I looked and it's like, wait. Basically, you've canceled your package and now you have no storage left. And I'm like, oh, no. So I looked at the plans. This is what we did. The plan we were using was like I think it was like 140, between 140 and 170 a month, which was already crazy. Okay. It gave us a lot of different options and different things we could do. But now they were going to let us stay at that price. At least it looked like it. They looked like they were going to possibly stay at that price, because now that package is $240 a month. So I don't know I think there was going to be some increase, but I don't think they were going to put us all the way at the 240 level, but there was going to be some increase. Well, I'm like, I can't do that. So we're going to drop down to a different package. So I picked the $50 a month package. So here's what I need for you. If you listen to us on the Spreaker platform, if you can make sure all of our content is there, that would be good. Do you have any problems listening to us live? Basically, if you've been listening to us, has anything changed for you? Has everything looked the same? Everything the same? If you notice any differences in any way, shape, or form, like all of a sudden you don't get notifications now. Now, the notification system for Spreaker has never been very good, but if it's even worse, if you have any problems, if you can't do certain things with the programs, because everyone has their own little thing that they do, if there's any changes, let me know. Now, of course, There'll be probably some change, and then I'll get some email from someone who's never contacted the podcast before and go, this is ridiculous. It doesn't do this and it doesn't do this. Well, that's it. I'm never going to listen to you again. It's typically the people you've never heard from who'll tell you really quick, if your podcast doesn't do this or this or this or this, I'm not going to listen to you. But they won't offer any support. So sometimes that gets frustrating. But for those who listen all the time, I do need to know, even if you've never supported, it doesn't matter. Never will. That's irrelevant. I need to know what's changed just in case we need to at least acknowledge it or look for workarounds or look for whatever. I think everything relatively looks the same. Clearly, Spreaker is doing kind of what Apple Podcast is doing. If you look on the Apple Podcasting app, you'll notice you'll have these things called channels, or these things where basically now you have to pay $3, $4, $5 a month to get access to the full content. They're putting it behind a paywall, right? More and more podcasts are moving that way. Well, guess what Spreaker has decided as of today? They're going the same direction. It's currently in beta. I can't show you this, but I'm going to pull this up. If I pull up my podcast. Okay, I don't know. Oh, it's called Supporters Club. Supporters Club. Here's what they're going to do. You now set your podcast and you set certain episodes or certain things to premium access to supporter-only episodes or the entire show. In other words, you can now move the entire show behind a paywall. It generates additional revenue with your content. You choose between different pricings to set up perfect subscription plan. Users will receive updates every time you publish a new episode. So Spreaker is going the same direction Apple is going. I don't know how many other podcasting sites are going to go this way, where now you lock your content behind a paywall, and if you want access to it, you got to pay $3, $4, $5 a month to get to it. I am not putting a theological podcast and the preaching, teaching, devotional messages behind a paywall. Not going to do that. I know I have to pay to be on these platforms, but I'm not going to lock the content down. So this point, their Supporters Club section, it's only in the beta format right now. They only have it as a beta plan right now. I don't know I don't think that's going to impact us in any way. We're going to keep our content free, but you can see that these sites are moving that direction. Hey, put your content behind a paywall. Put your content behind a paywall. Now, in other cases, some of the podcasting platforms, they get part of the money. Spreaker is saying that they take zero commission on your revenue. So according to Spreaker, they're not going to take any money. So if I was to put it behind a paywall, well, then I would get the money, but I'm not doing that. I am going to be looking at the Spreaker app and seeing which podcast puts their content behind a paywall. I am going to be curious to see which ones utilize this and what they do with it. Sometimes I want to subscribe to a couple of the ones where you have to pay just to see what you get from it, right? I know Apple Podcast does the same thing. So we will see, but that's the future. That's where a lot of podcasting is going. Commercials or a subscription-based model. And no. Now, if I decided to say, forget theology, and I went to a secular-based kind of, using that terminology, a secular type podcast, well, then, yeah. And then I would monetize it and who knows, come up with every plan. But I'm not going to do that for this. So the good news is this. With Sermons 2.0 app, Church One app, that'll be $60 a month starting in January. And now Spreaker at this current place, and we're hoping everything's going to work, is going to be at $50 a month. All right. Our pod page is going now to like $20 a month, unfortunately. And I like having I like having the pod page, but we'll see. If we have to get rid of something, that'll be the thing we get rid of. If that's something, that'll be the next thing we cut back on. If you think about what we've done in 2023, we used to provide digital curriculum for everyone. We got rid of that. That went. So we're slowly but surely cutting back. Right? Used to do a lot more book giveaways and doing more. That cuts. Sooner or later, you just got to cut back until you can try to manage everything correctly. So the good thing is $50 a month, $60 a month. That keeps us up, broadcasting on all the platforms that we're currently broadcasting on. Our podcast hosting is still protected. So that's good. And that's a little bit more manageable. So we will see. All right. The main thing I went live right now to do is just to see if everything's still working correctly. I think it's still giving me 3 hours of broadcast time. I think in the other platform, the other plan, they gave me a 24-hour option. I could broadcast live for 24 hours if I wanted to, but I was never going to do that. Even if I wanted to do like a 3-hour program, I would still break them into like 1 hour. I would still break them into segments because, that's a lot more manageable. So I still wouldn't do that. All right. Someone just said everything right now seems the same to me. That's good. All right. That's good. I know some of my analytics, some of my statistics will not be as precise or as in-depth as they typically are, because currently my statistics tell me everything, but I'm not going to worry about that. Looking at statistics only typically drives you crazy anyway. So I think we're good to go then. I think maybe I made the right plan. That's a significant savings. I mean, we basically saving ourselves basically $100. Basically saving ourselves $100 a month. I'm sorry, I had to sneeze there. Hopefully I got the microphone muted. I probably didn't, but hopefully I did. But we basically gave ourselves a savings of $100 a month. So I think that's a big step in the right direction. So we will see. So we're close. We're with the number of people who give now, we're almost close to on a monthly basis. We're almost good, almost there to cover the cost. So that's a good sign. And that gives me a little bit of hope and a little bit of positivity as we look into 2024, that we got this, that we can do this, and then we'll just see. I don't know what's going to happen in 2024, but we should be good to go for it. I don't see how we can't make it at least, the first 5-6 months. We should be no problem. I mean, we've already got enough to cover it. So I think we should be good to go for the first 5 or 6 months. I think we should be good enough to go. It's that monthly, right? It's that monthly thing. Yeah. Like if people give it at a monthly, then you'd be good. But yeah, who cares? Ultimately, what it will be is what it will be. And I'm just going to make I'll just broadcast until I can't, I guess. We'll see. If I need to, I'll transition into a different podcast. So we'll see. But I think this is good, and I feel comfortable with it. So I just wanted to see if this was working properly. It appears that it is. So I think that's a good sign. So we will see what the future holds. But thank you for tuning in to this very quick update. And there you go. I probably won't even post this. I may do a more organized update later. I'm not even going to post this right now. And then we'll talk about it later. So I don't know if there'll be a late night broadcast, but if there's not, then we'll talk about it tomorrow. All right. Everyone have a great evening. God bless.